So last week we look at inventory control. Inventory control, and we are able to look at the necessities of inventory control and the function of inventory control. We also talk about the types of selective inventory control. Tonight, we're going to quickly look at the factors involved in determination of inventory control. Factors involved in determination of inventory control. First of all, I want us to look at some basic questions that will come to mind when determining inventory policy. And these questions are: what to order, when to order, and how much to order. Those three major questions will come to mind when you are thinking of inventory control. What to order, when to order, and how much to order. So, some of the factors that must be involved when you are determining inventory policy are: number one, requirements.
Mr. Akoro, please, you'll be muted. You'll be muted. Please unmute.
Okay. Am I okay now? All right.
Yes.
So we are talking about factors involved in determination of inventory policy. And I said earlier on that there are some three basic questions that will come to mind when you are talking about inventory policy. And those are: what to order, when to order, and how much to order. That on its own are questions that will just come to mind when you are thinking about a policy on inventory. But the factors that are really involved are requirements. Requirement has to do with the quantity in stock and quantity to order for. Then number two, you want to talk about lead time or lead time. L-E-A-D, then time, lead time. What do we mean by this? Lead time is the time between the initiation and completion of production processes. Lead time is the time between the initiation and completion of production processes. See, it has to do with internal and external lead time. Then you want to also think about the cost factor. Cost factors. You want to talk about the liquidity stroke financial position. You want to look at your financial position when requesting for drug. When bringing up a policy on inventory, you want to talk about the financial position of the organization. Okay? Another point is that you want to make available credit factors. See, availability of credit factors must be involved in determination of inventory policy. You want to know your factors in the areas of credit. Can you give out credit? You want to think about it. You want to look at factors surrounding giving credit. You see. Then you want to know about changing in design. Change in design. We call that obsolescence. Obsolescence. What do we mean by obsolescence? The process of becoming outdated. are no longer in use, something you are not using again. You need to think about all this when you are bringing up a policy in inventory. There are some things that are not in use anymore that you must not bring into the store. Obsolescence. Then you want, when determining inventory policy, you want to think about government policy as well. You see, you want to look at the imported items, change in import duty, custom, and all this stuff. So you want to think about government policy concerning those things that you are going to either bring in or get out from the store. You want to talk about patient service. That has to do with smooth deliveries resulting in lower inventories. Patient service. You want to talk about the marketing conditions. Marketing conditions. See, items that are easy to get yesterday may be difficult to get tomorrow. It may be easy for you to get printing materials today, but tomorrow it might be easy for you. Okay? So you want to look at market conditions. Then you want to look at other factors. You see, you want to look at other factors like location of source, where you can buy or make decision. You know, those are some of the things. We have more than 10 points here. So at least for you to choose, there are so many things you can choose here as part of the factors involved. Then want to look at how to reduce inventory. How can you reduce inventory? I will rush this a bit because I want us to quickly go into leadership tonight. How do you reduce inventory? Number one, you have to freeze up maximum limit of inventory. You have to freeze up maximum limit of inventory. You have to think about what will be the maximum supply that you will need. Freezing up maximum limit of inventory. Then you want to freeze up responsibility of controlling the inventories with one person, preferably a senior staff. You want to think about somebody that must be in charge of the inventory. You see, that is freezing up responsibility of controlling the inventory. Number three, you have to be meticulous in your planning. You have to, that is, you have to be very careful and precise when you are choosing things that must be purchased or that must be in your inventory store. You know, then you have to get a well-designed and defined inventory control system. Then you also need to freeze up realistic inventory levels. You want to think of the maximum thing you need to order for. You need to think of the minimum that you need to order for. Things you will order for that will not be overstocking your store or understocking your store. You see. Next, you have to reduce your lead time. That is estimated time between ordering goods and receiving goods. You have to reduce it. The next factor is you have to adjust. You have to make adjustments in your inventory levels. There must be adjustments in your inventory levels. Then lastly here, you need to have strict control on obsolete, that is, on things that are fast moving, on things that are no longer in use. Things that are no longer in use, you don't need to start requesting for them. Okay? Let us quickly go straight to leadership within the next 10 minutes. Leadership. Leadership is getting things done through others. and can also be defined as the ability of the management to make sound decisions and inspire others to perform well. Okay? Leadership is getting things done through others. You can also define it as the ability of the management to make sound decisions and inspire others to perform well. Okay? Now, what are the importance of leadership? What are the importance of leadership? Why do we go into leadership roles at all? Number one importance of leadership is that it improves motivation and morale within the members. It improves motivation and morale within the members. Number two, it helps to respond to change. It helps to respond to change. Number three, it creates responsibility and accountability. It creates responsibility and accountability among the members of the organization. You see, in fact, it increases value in an organization. All right, then it leads to higher performance. We have four major importance of leadership here. Leads to higher performance, improves motivation and morale within the members, helps to respond to change, and it creates responsibility and accountability among the members of the organization. In short, it increases value in an organization. Right, let's go straight to leadership styles. We have some styles in leadership. Styles in leadership. I will rush this a bit because we are rounding up tonight. Styles in leadership. We have laissez-faire. Laissez-faire, that is Laissez-faire. Laissez-faire. What I want you to just understand straight away with these styles is what it means straight away. Okay? Laissez-faire can be referred to as a don't care leader. Leaders that doesn't care whether it is good or not, whether it is a bad result or good result, they don't bother. See, they don't care. I don't care leaders are called laissez-faire leaders. Autocratic leaders are people that take decisions independently without anybody contributing. Autocratic, they want to do things autocratically. Whether you like it or not, this is what I want. That is not, such leaders are not always good for an organization. See, autocratic leader. Then participative leader. We can also call them democratic leader. Participative or democratic leader. This type of leaders deals with majority in taking decisions. They deal with majority in taking decisions. They want people to participate. They want people to add their input in whatever they are doing. Don't forget, we have mentioned three: laissez-faire, autocratic, participative, or democratic. Then we have people that we call transactional leader. These are leadership that depends on the concept of reward and punishment. These are leaders that depend on the concept of reward and punishment. You see? Hello? So this is a transactional type of leader. They choose him as a leader because of what he has. See, transactional leader. Then we have people that we call transformational leader. Leaders that has the ability to affect employees' perceptions through the returns that organization gets in the form of human capital benefits. Transformational. They have the ability to affect employees' perception perception. They can influence you at any time. Those are transformational leaders. So lastly, we want to quickly go into traditional theory, which is the last topic in this our course. So which means we are rounding up tonight. We are rounding up tonight in this course. Traditional theory, what do we mean by this? Traditional theory is a theory based on different traits of a human being. Traditional theory is a theory based on different traits of a human being. Traits, that is TRAITS. Traditional theory is a theory based on different traits on human being. Okay. Now, there are 5 types of human traits. We have the physical trait that has to do with energy, that has to do with appearance and height. Physical trait. When you see that person, you see this one is Yoruba will say eléyìí jẹun yó, eléyìí kátó. Okay? Physical trait. Then the second one is ability trait. This includes judgment. It has to do with your knowledge and your fluency in speech. How fluent you are in your speech. Remember, we are talking about 5 human traits. Number 3, we have personal traits, which includes self-confidence, creativity, and enthusiasm. When you see somebody that is having self-confidence, that's a trait in that person. You see? Then we have what we call work trait, which is number 4. This one has to do with organization and achievements. Work trait, organization, and achievements. Then the last trait, which is number 5 here, is social traits, which includes your interpersonal skill, your popularity. You see, your popularity and prestige. They will say this one is very popular. This one has greater skill. You see, social traits. So I've made mention of physical traits, ability traits, personal traits, work traits, and social traits. So the last thing we're going to discuss here at this moment is major drawbacks of the theory. That is major drawback of traditional theory. Major drawbacks of traditional theory. Number 1, traits are not arranged according to their importance. Traits are not arranged according to their importance. That is, all those 5 human traits that we made mention of, they are not arranged in order of importance. Number 2, there is no quantitative tool to judge the human traits. There is no quantitative tool to judge the human traits. That is, there is no way you can judge any human trait. There is no way you can judge any of those traits. You see? Number 3, major drawback. This trait can be used universally. Not everybody can use it. So it can be used universally. Number 4, this trait can be achieved and developed. This trait can be achieved and developed. Then the last one, situational factors are avoided. Situational factors are avoided. You see, things that we need to that has to do with situation, they want to always avoid it in human traits. So questions can come up in this way. Traditional theory has major drawbacks. Identify such drawbacks. A question may come up like this, as traditional theory is a theory based on different traits of a human being. Discuss. When you see questions like that, that means We're going to talk about the 5 human traits and the drawbacks. Okay, so this is the last topic in this course. So I will give room for question. Anytime from next week, we're going to enter into revisional exercises. Okay. So as at now, we should be having like 16 minutes to go. So I want us to have enough time for questions since it is the last topic we're going to treat for today. So it is time for questions. Question. Question. Hello?
Sir?
Yes. Come up with your...
You're not muted, though.
Okay.
Sir, can you hear me? Can you? Hello? 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 Can you hear me, sir?
No. Time for question.
Are you with me?
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you
Yes, sir.
hear
Yes, sir.
me? Okay, go ahead
Yes,
with your
sir.
question. Yes, go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead
I
with your
did not
question.
understand the first. I'm talking of the factors involved in the determination of inventory policy.
Inventory policy. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Which area did you not understand?
This requirement quality in stock, in transit quality to be what? Procure, keeping. I don't understand that statement.
Okay, let me go go into it once again. I say policy in every country,
Okay, sir.
every organizations have a policy that they apply.
Yes.
So when you are talking about inventory
Okay,
control,
sir.
they also have inventory policy. Okay?
Okay.
Right. And
Yes, sir.
when you are talking about inventory, there are some 3 basic questions that will come to your mind. You want to think about what to order. You want to think about when to order. You want to think about how much to order. So everyone that are involved in inventory control must have all these 3 points in their mind. Now we are now talking about the factors that must be involved in determining inventory policy. When you are bringing up a policy, there are some factors that must be involved. These factors are 1, requirements. Okay, what you need to put this policy in place. Okay, are you following? Are you following? Hello? Are you following? When you are bringing up a policy on inventory, some of the factors you will need is number 1, requirements. Number 2, you want to talk about lead time. I told you what lead time means. You want to talk about cost factors in cost. You want to talk about the financial position of whatever organization you are going to deal with. Okay? You want to look at your credit factor, the availability of credit factors. You want to look at change in design. You want to look at government policy. You ask a question, I'm giving you the response now. And I hope you are listening to me. Okay? You're also talking about storage. You want to also talk about patient service. You want to look at market conditions. And then some other factors that will come up with it. So that is all about factors that must be involved when determining inventory policy. Do you follow now? Are you okay now? Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Good evening, sir. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead with your question. Go ahead with your question. Hello? Come up with your question if you have enough time. Hello? Network. Yes, I'm listening to you. I'm listening. Question. Come up with your question now. Hello? 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 Come up with your question. Come up with your question. So, if there are no questions, I think I have to come out with this submission. Few of you that submitted or sent your assignments to my email, I've taken time to go through all the assignments today. A lot of you wrote rubbish. A lot of you. And some of you went to internet and started copying pages from the internet. Why must you be writing almost a page for a question that is carrying just 10 marks? And even the pages that you are writing, the stories you are writing, doesn't even make sense. You are going outside the syllabus. I've always been telling you, especially you from Lagos, 300 level and 400 level, you should have known me by now. I hate storytelling. when I ask question, go straight to the answer so that you not be wasting time. So I've been saying this, the 300 levels, 400 levels that I've attended my seminars in the past. When you are in 200 level, you will know this very well about me. Don't be writing too much stories. So in all the rest, I've responded to all those that submitted, that sent their assignments to me in my email. I've replied all of them one by one this morning. You will see in most of the things, there are some I wrote too much story. There are some I wrote stories without realistic presentation. You know, you will see a lot of things I wrote there. So I'm writing this so as to let you understand what is expected of you in the exams. You go straight into answering questions, not just wasting time on a particular question. If they ask you to differentiate between regression analysis and correlation analysis, go straight. You go first into the definitions, then you begin to look at one or two things that you need to show us differences between the two, not writing 2 pages. And at the end of the day, some of you don't even know the difference on all these things. So you need to really read your notes very well concerning the exams. Okay, that is my submission for tonight, if there are no questions.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this Esther from Oshodi Center. This is the first time that our center is like attending your course. Hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir? As in our center in Lagos here, this is like my first time of attending your course because we've been having issues on attending this your course. So I don't know if you
Esther what?
Esther Odo.
Esther Odo. This is your first time of attending my course, and you are in 300 levels.
We've been having issues with the webinar. So we told our coordinator, he was saying that he work on it. So it was today that we were able to connect to the course. So
what do you want me to do? Go straight to a question you want to ask. I can't solve that problem here.
I just want to know if you're giving them any assignment.
Questions.
I just want to know if you're giving them any assignments before that we are not aware of.
Under public and community health care management, I think I gave them just one assignment, and only few people responded. Only few people responded.
Okay. So, sir, I don't know if you can pardon us and still give us the assignment. Maybe we can submit it.
I'm not in the position to do that.
Okay, sir.
I'm not in the position to do that. That shouldn't be my own problem now, because we have been taking lectures for almost 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
This is the last topic that we have done today.
Wow.
So if you are attending the last topic, I wonder what you want to know under public health, under public and community health as of today. There is no way I can start fresh for you because you are having issues with webinar.
All right.
So you just have to get the material and see how you can catch up.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Ugochi from Oshodi as well. I called you
Yes. Go ahead with your question. We have just 2 minutes to go out of this
We need the
course tonight.
assignment.
Go straight to your question.
So I'm saying we need assignment.
I'm listening to you.
So I am saying we need the assignment so we could do it as well. The revision class will be for next week. I've been following, but the day of the assignment, webinar, whatever, couldn't allow me hear what you were saying. I called you the other day to tell you I didn't get the assignment. You said I should meet my colleagues. I've called my colleagues. Some of them were not attending the class. Hello, sir. Hello. So all I call to say is that I need the assignment and I need materials. I can't imagine writing exams of what I don't know of. I need materials to read. Thank you.
About myself. I just sorry. I'm a house person. The time is gone. They do 40 minutes. Hello, sir.